I believe my wife had an affair with a guy from work. Help me know I'm making the right decision. This is going to be a long one, so I apologize in advance. My wife and I have been married since 2017. I am 32 and she is 29. We have 2 children together. In 2022, I began suspecting she was having an affair after my oldest daughter kept mentioning a man, I'll call A, to myself and my mother-in-law. My wife denied any affair and said he was just someone at work. I later found out she had taken them to his house at least once and had been hanging out with him when I was at home with the kids. I don't have definitive proof, but she's taken girls' trips with girls from work, and I wholeheartedly believe it was a her and his trip. I confronted her about the affair, and she swore on her father's grave that nothing happened between them, and that she had only grown close to him at work because we were full bore into the roommate stage at home. She agreed to couples therapy, and we attended several joint sessions and individual sessions. I always got the feeling during the joint sessions she wasn't taking them seriously. Things began to improve in our relationship. We were still struggling with the roommate phase, but it was an improvement. We worked on communicating our needs and desires to one another, but it felt like the progress we made was minuscule at best. That went on for a while, and we were just kind of in a lull. We only had sex once last year. Towards the end of last year, we went on a cruise together as a family. During an excursion, my wife became intoxicated, and we decided to return to the ship. Once on the ship and getting the kids down for a nap, I happened to glance at her phone while she was texting, and it was a message to A. She was begging him to go to a football game with her and saying she loved him. I bit my tongue and rode out the rest of the cruise pretty much in silence. A day or 2 after we got back home, and my oldest was at school and the youngest was sleeping, I confronted her. She didn't deny it and said she was drunk and it was a mistake. She said she blocked him on all social media. I again forgave her to save my family, and things improved significantly. We had the best sex we've had in a long time, and she even began being flirty with me again. 2 weeks ago, she said a girl from her work had asked her to go on a cruise with her. This woman recently lost her husband, and her daughter was also diagnosed with cancer and is probably going to die from it. I was apprehensive, but wanting to be a good husband, I trusted her and told her she should go. She flew down, and once in the city where the port was, she sent me a screenshot from A's Facebook, talking about being in the same city. She said her friend who asked her to go on the cruise with her sent it to her to send to me, because she was aware of the past with A. It was meant to put me at ease, and she swore she wasn't there with him. At that point, I became suspicious and began checking his X account, which he doesn't have me blocked from. I saw a photo from inside a bus that looked like the buses we've used in the past to get from the hotel to the cruise port. I became even more suspicious. Then he tweeted about knocking on the door of swingers on his cruise, and that's when I knew he was there. I asked a friend to look up his Facebook, and my friend sent me a screenshot of my wife leaning up against A with her tongue, sticking out, and he put it my name, but a different spelling. I was sick to my stomach, and shaking. I was so distraught and angry. I acted like things were normal when messaging her, but consulted with a friend who recently went through a divorce and explained everything to my parents because I was going to rely on them for help with the kids and potentially move back home temporarily because neither of us can afford our home on our incomes. Today she returned home, and I confronted her, and she swore nothing happened between them, and that she didn't know he was on the same cruise until they were getting on the ship at the second stop. She said she was drunk, and when she sobered up and realized he posted it to his story, she told him to take it down. After confronting her, she seemed to have answers for everything, but the more I think about it, the more I'm punching holes in her story. She claimed to not know what Google Chats was, but that was the app I saw her using to message him on our cruise last year. And when I asked to see that app, she played dumb and never showed me. So I'm sure there's more in there I don't know about. I asked her what she wanted to do moving forward because I had initially planned on telling her I wanted a divorce, but once she started answering my questions and sowing doubt, I backtracked and said I didn't want a divorce, and she agreed. I said I wanted to go to the couples therapist we saw previously, and she confirmed she didn't believe it helped. Then she asked me if I had told my mother about this whole situation, and when I confirmed I had, she became even more upset, saying it was embarrassing. I told her I told my family, because I was preparing to tell her I wanted a divorce, but now I don't want to. She has blocked my family and was planning on taking our children to a hotel here in town. She has since laid down in bed and fell asleep. My kids and I are sitting on the couch together. Thankfully, they weren't here for 99% of the discussion. I don't want to get a divorce, but I feel like I need to, due to her constant lies. Even though I don't have a huge amount of concrete evidence, it's enough, and it's happened enough now that I think it's the only way moving forward, but I'm so scared. I've been with this woman for nearly all of my adult life. We've built a family together, we have a house, and 2 beautiful children that are going to be devastated. We just purchased a new car in both our names. She stated I wasn't going to take her kids away from her, and I said I would never do that to her or them. She might be a shitty wife, but she is a wonderful mother to them. I love my wife with all my heart, and I feel like a failure of a man because I wasn't good enough for her. I feel like I let my family down by not being everything she needed, and I know that's not the case. I know the blame lies with her, but I still feel that way. It's embarrassing, honestly. I'm thankfully off work the next 3 days, and we'll be taking time to think about it more, and I've got an appointment scheduled with the same family therapist we saw. If we do separate, which seems very likely, I would like shared parenting and visitation every other week. We both make about the same amount of money, with her making slightly more. So I'm hoping if I have to pay child support, it's minimal. I would rather buy the things they need when they are with me, but I know that's now how it works most of the time. I expect we will have to sell the house because neither of us can afford it on our own. If we tried, the payment would be about 50% of our monthly income individually, so neither of us can afford to live here. There are only a few things I believe the house needs to be move-in ready. I would like my wife to keep the new car, as it's in better shape than what she was driving and has a 3rd-row seating, and I want my children in the best vehicle possible. I know this kind of turned into a ramble session and off the rails, but that's just what's in my head right now as I'm staring down the barrel of the gun that's about to blow my entire life apart and rip my family to shreds. Okay, let's see what type of advice was given in the comments. First comment. The odds of them both accidentally going on the same vacation are astronomical. He mocked you in the post by misspelling your name. She didn't tell you she was there with him. She told him that she loved him. What kind of proof do you need to see the obvious? Make whatever decision is right for you, but don't ignore the mountain of evidence. Second comment. And apparently it was a swinger takeover cruise, so no chance there was any sex. Third comment. Wow. Fourth comment. 1. Your friend sent you a screenshot of your wife leaning up against her AP with her tongue sticking out, and he put it your name, but with a different spelling. 2. She swore nothing happened between them, and that she didn't know he was on the same cruise until they were getting on the ship at the second stop. She said she was drunk, and when she sobered up and realized he posted it to his story, she told him to take it down. 3. She claimed to not know what Google Chats was, but that was the app I saw her using to message him on our cruise last year. And when I asked to see that app, she played dumb and never showed me, so I'm sure there's more in there. I don't know about. I mean, my man, you have all the info you need over here. She's playing dumb and in a dumb way. Her story won't stand scrutiny, but at this point, you should ask yourself if you care to find that out. Fifth comment. You seem to be putting a lot of energy into someone who's putting twice that energy into her AP. Dude, it's time to get your walking papers, get an STD test, possibly even paternity. She has repeatedly shown you she has no respect for you and your relationship or family. What more do you need? Do you need to walk in on her? Sixth comment. Bruh, if you keep believing her gaslighting lies, then you only have yourself to blame. Make the tough choice and leave the cheater so you can heal and get your life back.